What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Welcome back. So today I figured I'd talk about something different. Here living in Belize, kind of like an outsider looking into the U.S. Want to talk about immigration. I still watch the news all the time here and see what's going on at the borders and the amount of people, that are getting to the borders, the gotaways that are going through the borders. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So I figured I'd talk about that. Living in Central America right now because none of these immigrants are stopping in Central and South America. They're being caravanned through these countries. They're being brought right to the border so they can get into the United States for whatever reason, whether it's to do ill will, whether it's to find a job and send their money back to the country they came from. Because to be honest with you, that's what 80% of the immigrants are doing, man. They're going to find a work, they're saving that money up, they're sending it back to their families, and when they come back here after a couple of years, they're building their houses, they're paying off their land. Most of them that I talk to down here that have been to the United States, they have no plan of even staying in the United States. They're going there for money. That's their only reason for going, man. So it's absolutely crazy. And it's even crazier to think that it's harder for an illegal immigrant to get into Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico than it is the United States. Like, if they get caught, especially here in Belize, if a legal immigrant gets caught, and it happens all the time, they get remanded to prison and they stay in prison until they're deported. I mean, they're catching from every nation that are trying to get in, because right now they're trying to get into any country that they can here in Central and South America to make it to the border. So they're catching a lot of them through airlines. They're booking flights and showing up these airports, and they have no return tickets and no destinations, and they're all going to jail. All these people are going to jail and they're being deported, yet at the border in America they're just being a ticket and being sent on their way. And that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. There's a joke going around that if you're a United States citizen, it's better to come to somewhere in South America or Central America, denounce your citizenship, and re-enter the United States of America as an illegal immigrant, because you're going to get more money and better benefits than you would as a U.S. citizen. And from what I'm seeing, from what I'm hearing, man, that's true. I mean, I just heard that they're getting ready to give away free health care to immigrants in California. Man, I mean, I had a good job in the States. I was making decent money. I have to be honest with you. I've never stayed overnight in a hospital. I have no medical conditions. And I could not afford health insurance when I was in the States. It was expensive. I was like, there's no way I'm paying that much money a month for health insurance. And now they're just giving it away. Just giving it away. I mean, Big Brother, man. Look, I'm probably going to say it a couple times throughout this video, but I really want to stress this, man. Government is never going to save you. Government wants you dependent on them. That's it. Government wants sheeple. They don't want people to think for themselves, man. You got to start thinking outside the box. That was one of the main reasons why me and my wife got out. I mean, we've been wanting to get out for a long time, especially me. I've been wanting to get out since I was younger. I've always looked at things differently, kind of like an outsider looking in, and I always knew stuff just never added up to me. The American dream to me, I just used to sit back and scratch my head, and I just never understood it because I never saw it. I saw people work themselves literally to the grave over and over and over again. And I knew for me, I never wanted to get caught up in that. So I left and I came to another country legally, which wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to come to a different country legally. There's, a process that you got to follow. Even here, if you don't follow that process, you're going to jail. And they only have one in Belize, and it's not a jail, it's a prison. You go to the prison and you stay in there until you're deported. Um, so yeah, it is absolutely crazy what's going on in the border in the United States. And now I see they're coming over mountains and everything, man. It's It's crazy, man. I hope some of y'all wake up, especially a lot of you people that are interested in, the off-grid lifestyle, which is, getting away from a lot of things that keep you confined in the rat race of civilization. Everything that society tells you that you have to do. I mean, in order to fit in, you have to have a, $250,000 house. You have to have a Mercedes. You have to have, all this stuff. You have to have all this stuff. You have to be liked. You have to be a, people pleaser, and, all that stuff that, Big Brother tells you, that you need to do, because if you go against that, you know, they're going to censor you, they're going to put you somewhere. It's crazy. Um, these are things that I have so much humbleness in me from living outside the United States, talking to so many people that have left Central America to go to the States to work for a year or two to save up that money to come back, and to hear their stories about how they couldn't wait to get back, and then you hear people talk about, oh, don't go to, Mexico, don't go to Belize, don't go to Honduras, the crime rate, it's horrible and everything. And the people that are leaving here to go there, when they're done, when they come back here, that's all their stories are about how crazy it is in the United States right now. You know what? And I have to agree with them. When I left, man, things were getting crazy, especially south of Atlanta. But I grew up in South Florida, so, the gangs, the violence, I mean, I grew up around that, watching all that, and it's just gotten worse over the years, especially with housing and all that stuff, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how most of y'all are getting by, but, you know, government is not going to save you guys. You got to start thinking for yourself, man. You got to start coming up with a plan. You got to give yourself an out. You got to give yourself, exit, man. To try and break free from the chains that society wants to put around your ankle, man, because once you get that lock around your ankle, hook, line, and sinker, And if, you're just a career person that, wants to be in the system, hey, that's fine too. Everybody has a choice. For me, my choice was definitely getting out, getting away, and I don't ever plan to come back. I'm happy here. It's quiet, it's safe. Um, to me, this is paradise. I want you to think about this for a second. So, I've been wanting to get out of the U.S. for a long, long time. I mean, when I first started looking, it was places like Puerto Rico, places like Mexico, because, places where a lot of expats go. You always hear the horror stories about Central America, but if you believe everything you hear, you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to do anything. But even to get into Mexico, back then, which was about 15 years ago, you had to have at least $25,000 in an account and show that you could take care of yourself while you were in Mexico, that you weren't going to come there and you needed to have a job, or you were going to, commit crimes or live off the state or anything like that. It's the same thing in Belize. When you come to Belize, you have to show that you can actually take care of yourself here. You have to have some kind of money. You can't just come into Belize. They don't just let people come in here. You have to, in order to become a resident here in Belize, you have to be here for a year first, and you cannot work here unless you get a work visa, meaning if you come here and you get your passport stamped every month, you cannot work. And every time you go to immigration, you have to show financials that you are taking care of yourself, that you have money coming in from somewhere else. Now, me and my wife, we were very blessed to be able to do that, but for a long time we weren't. But I really want you to think about that. In order to get into a lot of these other countries, almost all of them in Central and South America, you can't just walk in. You have to show that you can take care of yourself. You're not going to find governments down here giving out Section 8 housing. You're not going to find governments here when you have a kid is giving you food stamps and welfare. If you have a kid here, you better be able to take care of that kid yourself. And, the humbleness that I've learned living outside the United States is, it's hard out here And it's supposed to be, man. It's for your benefit to actually not have Big Brother giving you a handout around every corner, because that's what Big Brother wants, man. He wants you there with your handout so he can take care of you in any little way he can, so you become dependent on him. Man, once you break that tie, you start thinking for yourself, and you break that, and you realize, like I said, no one's coming to save you. Government isn't coming to save you. The government will never come and save you. The government will make you dependent on them so you don't think for yourself. So, man, really, seriously, think about that. If you have a child somewhere in Central and South America, you better be able to provide for that child on your own. Nobody is helping you take care of that child. They will take the child from you if you cannot take care of that child yourself. You know, a lot of things I've learned living outside the U.S. Humbling, humbling, but man, really opens your eyes to what's really going on in the world. Like I said, I could go on and on about this stuff for days, about stuff I see, stuff I've learned. Some of it's exciting, some of it's humbling, some of it pisses me off, but at the end of the day, I'm just blessed to be able to live outside of the U.S. This is my second year. I'm going on my third year of living outside the U.S. and seeing things in a different perspective. Because, man, once you see things in a different perspective, and you're kind of on the outside looking in, man, you can call it for what it is. And especially with this immigration thing, guys, man, wake up, because there's an ulterior motive for everything, man. So in Belize, my vehicle insurance, the price for the year is what I used to pay for the month back in the States. Let that sink in for a minute. Same thing with medicines and stuff, man. It's being able to walk up to the counter and get antibiotics, not have to go see a doctor for them to write you a script to go to the pharmacy just to get antibiotics, man. Anyways, like I said, I could go on and on and on and on and on about this stuff, but I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. And if you guys are interested in this, I'll keep bringing you more content about this on the homestead, also with what we're doing here on the homestead. But yeah, I'm like an outsider looking in, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down there so I can see what you guys think, whether you like this information or you don't, so I know whether to bring you guys more of this stuff. So thanks for watching, man, and y'all stay safe out there. And remember, man, one thing: government is never gonna come and save you. Have a great one, guys.